Welcome back. So let's go to our architectural drawing and then appreciate what we have now. So currently we have, let me copy this security group, put it here, okay, and first let me rename this as our private instance, and we have this as our private SG. Great, so this is what we currently have. So we have our private instance with a private security group attached to it, and it's only allowing access, right? It's only allowing both inbound and then outbound access to the Bastion host through SSH, right? So now let's go back to our management console and check to see if everything is ready. Yes, and then we are ready to roll. So there is a utility by PuTTY called Pageant, right? Since we are going to connect to our private instance through our Bastion host, there is a need to use the two keys that we created. So I'll open the utility here. So this PuTTY, and I'll open Pageant as well. Okay, and I'll add the two keys, right? So this is for the Bastion host, and this is for the private instance that we created. So I'll click on open, and once I've added these two, I can close this. And for here, what I'll do first is I'll take the IP address of the Bastion host. I'll copy this, and in PuTTY I'll enter the username EC2 user at the public IP of the Bastion host, right? That is not done. First, let me delete all these. So on PuTTY, after I've entered my EC2 user, the host name, okay, I'll head to SSH and click on authentication, and here I'll allow agent forwarding. So that means that we'll be able to forward to another instance, right, with their respective key. Okay, so once that is done, I can now come to credentials and browse, and I'll select the key of the first instance, that is the Bastion host, right? And I'll go to the session. Let me save this. Now once I save this, it means that anytime I would want to connect, I don't have to do all this again. I can just go ahead and then double click this, and I'll be able to open it, right? So I'll go to open and just accept this, and you can see we've been able to connect to this is the private IP of our Bastion host. You can see we are on the private IP. So now from the Bastion host, let's try and then connect to our private instance. So I'll select this private instance, and I'll do SSH, and then we have EC2 user at the IP address of the private instance. So that is 10.0.1.94, and enter. Yes, and I'll just accept this, and bingo, we are able to connect via SSH into the private IPv4 address. So from here, let's try and then do some pinging, right? So since we are currently in the private instance, right? So let's ping this IP, and we should be able to receive a response from this IP address. And this IP address is the primary DNS server for Google, right? So if we are able to ping the DNS server for Google, then it means that our private instance has internet connection. Okay, and that is by kind courtesy of the NAT gateway, and then the configuration done on the route table, the private route table, sorry. So now let's exit from the ping. So once we have confirmed this, let's go back to our architectural drawing. I'll hide these, and a few minutes, take this off. Great. Now let's do some connections here. So this now can connect to this, and it's bi-directional. It's able to go in and out, right? And let's put some user here. So I can make use of this. Okay. So users are able to connect through the internet gateway. And through the internet gateway, we are able to connect to this Bastion host. And from the Bastion host, we are able to connect, right, to be able to communicate with our private instance. So this is the architecture that we currently have, right? This is what we currently have. This is what we are able to do. So through the internet, through the lab internet gateway, we are able to connect to our Bastion host, and through our Bastion host, we are able to communicate to and from our private subnet. So it means that we can't connect directly to our private instance, right, from the internet. We have to go through the Bastion host and then now to the private instance. Great. So I'll end the session here, and I'll see you in the next session for another demonstration. See you.